South African President Cyril Ramaphosa signed a law allowing land seizures without compensation, sparking political divisions. The ANC calls it a milestone, but it is being challenged in the court. Land ownership has been a contentious issue in South Africa since the 1913 Natives Land Act, which stripped black South Africans of property rights. Despite apartheid's end in 1994, land reform has been slow due to the willing seller, willing buyer policy. The new law aims to accelerate redistribution, but critics fear economic consequences like those seen in Zimbabwe. What are the main concerns? The pro-business Democratic Alliance contended that nil compensation would violate the constitution. DA is unhappy. Why? Let's hear.
It cannot be that one of the parties in the government of national unity feels that it can say it's our way or the highway. And that's not consensus, that's not decision making, and that's not power sharing. That is just simply riding roughshod over coalition partners.
South African farmers fear the land bill could lead to a Zimbabwe-like crisis. Agrisa President Jaco Minnaar expressed disappointment over the government's decision. US President Donald Trump has cut financial aid to South Africa over its land expropriation law, ICJ case against Israel, and ties with Iran. Let's hear what he said about South Africa.
Terrible things are happening in South Africa. The leadership is doing some terrible things, horrible things. So that's under investigation right now. We'll make a determination. And until such time as we find out what South Africa is doing, they're taking away land, they're confiscating land, and actually they're doing things that are perhaps far worse than that.
Let us hear what Salim Karim, director of the Center for the AIDS Program of Research in South Africa, said about US aid cuts.
If PEPFAR is not continued, the repercussions are almost catastrophic. They are not that severe in South Africa because the government is providing much of the care. But in other countries, PEPFAR is a major player. If you take Mozambique or Malawi or Zambia, in those countries, PEPFAR contributes a disproportionately large amount of the funds required for their AIDS treatment programs. Now, it's not a bad idea to transition that to the governments themselves, but that's not something that happens overnight.
The US provided nearly $440 million in aid to South Africa in 2023, but the impact of Trump's cut remains unclear. Let's hear what John Steenhuisen said.
If AGOA is cancelled and tariffs are placed on agricultural goods, it will have a huge impact on agricultural jobs and the ability of agricultural producers to sell their products to market. And so when decisions are made, I only ask that they're made on the facts. Now, we're concerned as anybody about the Expropriation Act in its current form, which is why we're taking it to court.
If US-South Africa relations deteriorate, trade and investment could suffer. The US exported $9.30 billion to South Africa in 2022, with 600 American companies operating there. The White House plans to support Afrikaner resettlement, claiming they face government-sponsored race-based discrimination in South Africa. South Africa's Afrikaner community has rejected Trump's resettlement proposal. Let's hear what they said.
So I feel like if all Afrikaners leave SA and go to States, this country will be messed up. Now, that's one thing I know for sure, because I feel like we do need those Afrikaners. As much as we don't get along, but I feel like for this country, we actually do need them.
Personally, I feel like Trump doesn't know anything about this. I feel like Elon Musk is pushing him behind to say there's something there, go look at it. Because why all of a sudden interest in SA after all these years?
US Secretary of State Marco Rubio said he will skip G20 talks in South Africa as tensions grow between Washington and Pretoria over land expropriation. Lindani Zungu, founder of Voices of MZANSI, argued that land expropriation is a step to rectify historical injustice. Elon Musk has criticized the South African government, calling its land ownership laws openly racist. Let's hear what the presidential spokesman said about Musk and Ramaphosa's conversation.
So, in light of this recent development, it was sensible and logical and quite important that the president engages with him so that we reinforce his own understanding of what is happening in South Africa, and we flag our concern with respect to the disinformation that we saw in the announcement by President Trump, but also in his own response to our statement. And so we are a country that respects the rule of law, and there's just certain things that we don't do, and there are things that will never happen in South Africa because of being a country that is guided by a constitution. And so it was important that they have that conversation and that understanding is emphasized, at least to benefit Elon, but also considering his influence within the Trump circle, for the president to deliver that message.
President Cyril Ramaphosa defended South Africa, vowing it would not be bullied. Let's hear what he said.
We are witnessing the rise of nationalism, protectionism, the pursuit of narrow interests, and the decline of common cause. This is the world that we, as South Africa, a developing economy, must now navigate. But we are not daunted to navigate our path through this world that constantly changes. We will not be deterred. We are, as South Africans, a resilient people, and we will not be bullied. We will stand together as a united nation, and we will speak with one voice in defense of our national interests.
Speaking to journalists at Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport upon his return from the SADC East African Community Summit in Tanzania, Zimbabwe's president emphasized the shared resilience of Zimbabwe and South Africa against foreign pressure. Time will decide how relations between the US and South Africa unfold. Bureau Report, NewsX.